Welcome to the Insignificans, the oral history of Darling Waste. This is episode 30, Blind and Screaming. I'm your co-host, Jamie. With me is your host, Lance, and co-host, Justin. Say hey, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Come on. Be a little more awake.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh. I was just trying to be like radio.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, let's do the NPR version. Hi, you're listening to the Insignificans, the oral history of Darling Waste on WQXP.
We have a fascinating episode for you today. I think we're going to really dive deep into this song and find out what makes it tick. And come along for the journey, won't you?
With me in the studio today is Darling Waste.
Something NPR would never say. We actually had a fan, not like a super fan. It was like a girlfriend of a friend kind of thing, but they liked the band and they came to the shows. And she was one of the directors of programming for the local NPR in Detroit. And a couple times pitched Darling Waste, and they just like hard shut it down. Like it was a non-starter for the local NPR to ever have us on the air. Okay, let me get through the bullshit list real quick. I do have, because sometimes I'll be editing the podcast and be like, fuck, I know I'm wrong, but there's a kernel of truth to what I'm saying, which is a lot of how I just operate as a human, I think. So I fact checked myself, because remember we were talking about YouTube starting, and I said the founder of YouTube, the first thing ever posted was something like that he couldn't post anywhere else. And you're like, no, it was me at the zoo. And I'm like, what the fuck? So you are correct. Me at the Zoo was the first YouTube video ever posted on YouTube by just some random user. The two people who founded YouTube, one of the founders was frustrated by how hard it was to find the video of Janet Jackson's Super Bowl halftime incident, and thought there needs to be a place where when things like that happen, we can share them. And then the Indian Ocean tsunami happened, and everyone in 2004, and everyone was taking videos of it, and they were getting pulled down because it was like a violence and death. And he's like, there has to be a place where we can share newsworthy things that also aren't okay for TV. And that's the reason he started coding YouTube. So we were both kind of correct.
2004, 2005.
Yeah. So you were correct.
As most things, it has become the thing he hates the most.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And yet still, I don't know what I'd do without it. I love YouTube.
I watch YouTube more than I watch television by far.
We should remind everybody, you can go to Spotify or YouTube, follow us, like us, comment. We love to hear from you. Send us stuff to talk about on air, criticize anything we've said, point out what we missed or forgot. We love the audience interaction.
But not on Spotify, because we stopped.
But not on Spotify, we stopped.
Yeah,
we're just on YouTube now.
Yeah, I stopped. Yeah. I gave up on Spotify. We talked about Iggy's, and I said there were two bars named Ed and Iggy's in Cleveland, and I think we played Iggy's, not Eddie and Iggy's. I never specified why there's bars called that. Justin, do you know? If you know, don't say it. Jamie, do you know? All right,
no.
Come on. Jamie, you lived in Cleveland for years. Why would there be two bars called Eddie's and Iggy's?
Like for Iggy Pop?
Nope. Justin, do you know? Do you remember?
No idea.
St. Ignatius and St. Ed's.
Oh.
Yeah, they were. So we have two massive Catholic high schools in Cleveland.
I think because I came into Cleveland already in my college years and up, I just wasn't paying much attention to that, but yes.
So they are specifically high school football bars for like people who either went there or just support those teams. So it was really funny that we played it, because it was just called Iggy's because of that, and they switched owners and became like a kind of biker divey bar, but kept the name. And I was like, I don't know if I want to play. And it's just it's very Cleveland specific blue collar I like the high school football team bar, which is just fun for me. I don't know why I think it's fun, but it's like it's a cute thing. Like we're going down to
Ohio.
we're going down to Ed and Iggy's and having a brew, like talking about high school football. It's like a Springsteen song through Cleveland, like it just sounds like. So of that Ed and Iggy show, or the Iggy's, the Iggy show, you said, I enjoyed the show. It was just everything after that I was very over. Do you feel that's a pretty good blanket statement for your time in Darling Waste? I enjoyed the show. It was just everything after. And can you remember a time that you actually liked the after party better than the show? Or just liked an after party? Was there ever a time where you're like, fuck yeah, that after party was dope?
Yeah, it was the fire-breathing bartender.
Oh, yeah, that was good times. That was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was like
Club
the first
42.
time where I'm like, oh my God, I love being in a band. That was like the first time.
Believe it or not, I don't remember much from that night.
Well, I believe that is.
So yeah, the bartender would let me light her on fire. Her hand, right? She dipped her hand in alcohol, and then I lit her hand on fire, then she blew fire? Or did she just have alcohol in her mouth? I feel like I lit her on actual fire. Maybe she did both.
I don't remember, but I remember that she stripped down to her bra for safety before doing this.
I do remember saying that. And I was like, you should take your shirt off for safety. You don't want to catch on fire. Just for safety, I'm concerned. That's exactly like my line too. That just sounds like me. And I also do want to say at the on the last podcast at the 90-minute mark, Justin said, well, it's been an hour and a half, we should probably do something. And I said, we probably have 8 minutes of usable podcast. It was 12 and a half minutes of usable podcast. Thank you very much. I actually looked down to see where I was in the editing. 12 and a half minutes and 90 minutes was our pace.
All right, so we get about 8 minutes per hour of usable material.
Yeah, that's about where we're at. Yeah, we're at like, which is above 10%. We're like 12% usable podcast. So, okay. And then
the next tour is the 12% usable tour.
12% usable content. Darling Waste.
12% content by volume.
So, okay, that's it. That's my bullshit list. We're done. This week, we're going to talk about Blind and Screaming. Very important Darling Waste song. I know I say it every week, but we're in that stretch of very important. The last one wasn't. It was. We liked it, but the last one wasn't that.
No,
important.
but it was surprisingly good.
Yeah. So go listen to that if you want to. Blind and Screaming, we're going to be listening to it. Haven't done a Darling Waste member check-in or anything in a minute, so I want to plow through that. Justin, I don't know if you've been here since we've done this.
No.
While you were gone, in between your podcast visits, we started I started a thing, and Jimmy thinks it's a good idea, so we're going to keep doing it, called Darling Waste Confirmed Member Check-In, where I'm making a list of everyone who's ever been in Darling Waste to try to make the final definitive, as much as we can, list. So
we're preparing for our Wikipedia resurgence, where we reboot that page and have all the listing of members on there.
I'm also keeping a list of every show we've played as we talk about them to try to come up with, as close as we can. I know we're going to miss a ton, but we just realized last week that I didn't have, or yesterday we realized that I didn't have that Ed's show on there. So I do have, I did find that clip. I'll play it for you really quick. It's literally 30 seconds, so it's not going to hurt us at all. So we were talking a couple weeks back that when Jamie records Darling Waste, or when I first write it, it's a very calm. So this part of the song is, and I will lie here with each sharpened memory. And here's Darling Waste playing that exact same part live. That's us playing I'll Be Fine live on acoustic I'm playing an acoustic guitar in that sequence. So
Yeah, you just had it as a 3-piece right there?
yes, that's how we figured out what exactly it was. This was Daniel went home, and then we replaced him with Johnny Biebelhausen in February. Daniel went home in September of 12. So this has to be September, October, November, or December. I don't think it's December. So I'm saying
Could be November of 2012, but
that's our guess. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I put it there. Yeah, that's the guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's no, I just loaded this up 14 hours ago.
Oh, gotcha.
So this bathroom door back here is the bathroom that Justin's partner went in and wouldn't come out. And I think, after I saw this, wasn't there like a ton of stacked up chairs that we all got stuck on top of or something also? Yeah. We all got drunk and got on top of like these tall stacks of chairs and then couldn't get down or something. I have a vague memory of that.
And Darling Waste is still there.
Yeah.
I think the reason I was so grumpy that night is I was the only sober one.
Oh shit, yeah. We were all monsters. Yeah. Well, at least I drove us home. So,
yeah. Well, I certainly was going to drive the van.
Okay. So this is just entertainment for you guys now. We'll cut this on the podcast because it's not the right time. It's 2 years later. But this is a very short clip that I found too that has Deborah Romer in there.
No.
I think it's the most emo
Surface.
Yeah, the most emo clip fucking possible. It's just like Deborah Romer, Double B, Darling Waste, Sasha the Merch Girl, all listening to Postal Service on tour. And then the next part is me and Andrew playing a game of who can we get to wave to us.
Yeah. I got a good peace sign, man.
Got a peace sign from that guy. America, sweetheart, Deborah Romer.
Yeah, no kidding.
So there you go. That's a little bit of tour footage that I found of us. Nice. Just okay. So that's that. All right. I want to touch on some New York stuff and then get into the song. So we're gonna get back into the Wayback Machine. We're gonna go back to 2000, I believe, 5. So let's see. I moved to New York City March 1st, 2005. We signed Kids Against Combs. So I'm just going to do this in order and talk about what comes up. We'll get as far as I can get before we have to jump into the song. So I'm going to talk about Kids Against Combs then, is where we'll be. So March 11th, I signed Kids Against Combs. His name was DeGal. 1034 Records is happy to announce the newest addition to our label, Kids Against Combs. Truly amazing band from New York City and our first overtly political artist. They're in the midst of planning a European tour this June, followed by an album release later this summer, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I think we talked about him a little bit, right, on the last podcast. I've not edited that yet, but I think I told the story of us meeting at that Starbucks. Okay, so what's up, everybody? Editor Lance here. Real quick, I just want to say that what we just said about DeGal and the extra Starbucks is something that had to get edited out of episode 29, but I did save it for episode 30, so we're going to jump back to 29, hear that story, and then jump back to 30. Enjoy. On March 10th, I met a guy named DeGal, was what we called him. His name was like Matthew, but DeGal was the singer of a band called Kids Against Combs, and he had this very bright eyes thing going on and a very cool way of phrasing things. He was very political. I'm like, yeah, I'd like to meet this guy. And so I called him, and we had a phone conversation. He said, hey, listen, there's something I want to tell you and something I want to show you about our release, but I don't want to talk about it over the phone. Can you come meet me? And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. He goes, can you meet me at the Starbucks at Astor Place? And I said, sure. So I come in from Brooklyn to Astor Place, and I go in the Starbucks, and I call him, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm in here. He's like, so am I. I'm like, I'm not seeing you. I'm like, I'm waving my hand. And he's like, oh, there's 2 Starbucks at Astor Place. So I go out, and I see the other Starbucks. I'm like, oh, New York. And so I go across the street,
I go in, and he's like, wait, there's 3. I just watched you cross the street. And there were 3 Starbucks at Apster Place. On 3, because it's like 5 streets that connect, and there were 3 different Starbucks.
So he handed me this demo, which has Sean Hannity's home phone number on it. And he said, I would like to release this album. And on the inside, it's going to have a letter to him that says, like, Dear Mr. Hannity, here's the things we're upset with you about, because I also have his address. And each one is going to be it's going to be a postcard. And you can just mail our album cover to his house. And we figured out the how to pay for that and stuff. And he's like, this is going to be a nightmare for whatever label releases. And I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do it. So we released this record. So we announced it, and it got on Howard Stern, picked it up. The Boston Globe picked it up, because everyone who didn't like him, they could review the album, and it gave them free ability to say his phone number and address. And which is honestly something that we didn't, at least I didn't super think about that part of it. Yeah, there's the Boston Phoenix mentioned it. We played shows in Boston. This is why they. So I mailed out I think we mailed out 1,000 press things for this. It was an insane press push, and NPR mentioned us. Here's Ear Candy Mag mentioned us. So I think it's the best press we've ever had for a 1034 release, including Darling Waste. I think this was the biggest thing we ever did. So we had a big CD release show for it in Brooklyn. Actually, I think I have a flyer for it here. It was at Galapagos Art Space in Williamsburg, which we were playing a bunch of the time. It was like an old gas station kind of thing. 2 things happened that got me in a lot of trouble that were not in my control. One, the collective that threw shows there was called Circus of the Shattered Monkey. That was just the name of the group that was renting the space. They, without our permission, changed their name as a joke that night to Circus of the Shattered Hannity, because it was going to be a Sean Hannity themed party. Then they booked an opening act that was called Heston Rifle. And that, again, I don't know those people. So, long story short, I got sued by Fox News and by Sean Hannity. And we got a cease and desist, and we did not cease and desist. And then I got sued, and the band got sued. Then they dropped the band from the lawsuit and were just suing me because I was the person who put it out and didn't. Because their band was like, we stopped. It's just the label put it out. What do you want us to do? I hand to God this happened. This is not a made-up story. This is 100% happened. So we go to this show. Darling Waste is the opening act. We play. Heston Rifle plays. DeGal plays. As soon as Kids Against Colm start playing, these dudes in suits come in, and they're filming it with camcorders. And so this is like, we assume some kind of firm who were hired by the lawyers to say that we did not cease and desist, right? We tell them they have to leave. They are armed. They say they will not leave, that they paid for it. So DeGal, for some reason, I don't know why he thought this. He thought he was getting arrested at the end of the show. And he mentioned it several times from stage. And I thought he was joking, and then he was not. He, for some reason, thought they were the law. I knew they were hired people to intimidate us from Fox News or Hannity or something, right? So we pulled. He was in my van, we had brought his whole band, so we loaded up all of our shit in the van, and then as soon as it ended, they wanted him to come talk to them and film a deposition kind of thing, and I'm like, there's no fucking way we're talking to you. And so he agreed, and he's like, sure, let me just put the stuff in the van. And then we bounced. We got in the van and ran. We went on an almost hour-long car chase through Brooklyn and Manhattan, driving on sidewalks to get away from them. They chased us down wrong way streets. And I'm like, maybe they are going to kill us. You might be right. I don't think they were. But there was no reason for them to follow us. They had already served us papers. They already knew where we lived. Like they served. I actually, again, I'm going to tell this story too. It was like a fucking movie. Out of all the times I could have got a knock on my apartment door, we were literally making their album with the band. Just for that 2-hour time of my life, we had the copy machine that Jeremiah got for us in my apartment in New York, and we had bought like nice paper and we're Xeroxing copies of this artwork and cutting it ourselves and stuffing these mailers. And we get a knock on the door, and it was like a super friendly guy. He's like, "Hey, is Lance here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Lance." It's like, "Cool, you've been served." And we're like, "Oh my God." I'm like, I didn't know what it was about. I'm like, "Is this like for the apartment?" And we open, I'm like, "Yo, we're getting sued by Fox News." And it was like exactly a movie, because everyone who was getting sued just happened to be in the room together. It was really nice. But yeah, and then
Very efficient for the process server.
Yeah, it was nice. Well, he didn't, though. He didn't know it was them, and then had to go to their apartment and serve them later. Because they're like, "Wow, it's crazy, we're not getting sued." And then the next day, they're like, "Yeah, we're getting sued too." So yeah, and then, yeah, I mean, nothing happened. There's no end to that story. But we literally, 2 black, like, SUVs chased our band around Brooklyn and into Manhattan for like several hours after the show that night. And it went from being scary to being funny, and then kind of back to scary. And then I'm like, I'm going to start breaking the law, because if we do get pulled over, I'm like, "I'm sorry, we were being chased by these men in SUVs." So I literally went down a one-way street at one point. I went up on the sidewalk and drove through traffic and like ran a red light, and they just followed me everywhere we went. So it kind of became a game of like, how many laws can we get these guys to break while we're breaking laws? And then eventually, I don't remember if we lost them or they just got tired or we just gave up and went home. I think that's what happened. I think we just gave up and went home. I'm like, well, let's let them follow us and kill us.
They served you papers, but do you think they ended up just withdrawing the lawsuit, or
yes.
How did that?
So the big thing was Sean Hannity moved because of all the harassment, and he actually went on to his radio show and said, these anarchists have given away my address, and we have to leave the state of New York because they're going to kill us. And so he moved to Connecticut. We hilariously got his address in Connecticut. We didn't put it out, but we thought about changing the title of the album. So Kids Against Homes backed down. The album was called Kids Against Homes, Sean Hannity, home phone number 631-673-8003, and his address was the name of the album when we put it out. So you knew if you bought it, you'd get his address. And then we changed it to Kids Against Homes, Sean Hannity and Fox News are democracy subverting douchebags, was the name of the re-release. And then it was the same cover, we just blurred out the thing, and then it had the same inside with the address blurred out. I just kept wanting to fight it. I'm like, if we go to court, we're gonna this is gonna be huge. I was just seeing dollar signs. It wasn't even about like anything. I was just like, we're gonna make so much fucking money.
You'd be happy to lose on this one.
Yeah, sure, right? Like, I'll go on CNN and talk about it, So yeah, that is Kids Against Homes. I will mention them some more because they were part of our album release tour for this album. All right, let's do a couple more things here. We'll get through part of 2005. March 3rd, 29th, we signed Pilots and Passengers. Didn't ever put that out. That was Adam, our bass player's project. I don't know what happened. We never put it out. Then I just found out, this is why I wanted to mention the band people, the members. On April 1st, we played, and I've Googled the shit out of this. I can't find it. We played in Cleveland area. I think it was Elyria, a house show at a girl called Sorry Clementine. It was SAHRI Clementines. And we were like, everyone, email us for the address or text us for the address. So at some point, Kids Against Homes, Darling Waste, April 1st at Sorry Clementines. And then this blows my mind. So us, Kids Against Combs, and Darling Waste drove from New York City to Elyria, Ohio on April 1st and played Sorry Clementines. And on April 2nd, played St. John's United Methodist Church in Baltimore, Maryland. This was our weekend trip, was from New York to Elyria, Ohio to Baltimore, Maryland, back to New York in 3 days. What the fuck? So we played 2 more shows. April 25th, I'm Not Like You, the song, that fuck you if you're not like, the first album, was on MTV's The Inferno. I had to look that up. Do you guys know what The Inferno is? No. So it is, we take people who were on The Real World and make them compete in an American Gladiators type arena. So they played our jing 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 while reality stars got beat up, which I'm for. May 5th, we got Stars in December. The lead singer of Stars in December, by the way, who was on Broadway, his real name, Billy Orlando. Like, the fucking greatest name. I totally forgot about that.
Porn star name.
And we had signed Morello, and Morello flew over. They got here around May 1st. And then this is when I was recording with you and hanging out in Cleveland. Morello came with me. So Morello and Darling Waste opened for the Blood Brothers at the Agora because the day before, I was just driving them around Cleveland and being like, this is Cleveland. Cleveland's cool, Irish guys. And this is where we used to record at the the Metro Sync. And I'm like, let's see if we can walk inside and see the Agora. And we walked inside and they're like, yeah, do you want to stand on the big stage? And they're like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And we're actually like, I don't even know who the manager was, but we must have known him, at that, from that era. And so he was like showing us around and he's like, oh, by the way, the Blood Brothers are doing a surprise show here tomorrow because one of their shows got canceled. You guys want to open? And we're all like, yes, please. Because I don't know if you guys know them, but I fucking love the Blood Brothers. So there was no Darling Waste at this point. So I'm pretty positive the band for that show was me, Jeremiah, and Donnie, like light reunion show. And Jeremiah just played a bass. And we just like muddled through 5 songs. But I will never forget this. Morello was playing our gear on tour. They were about to leave on tour, so they had all of my gear. So we were playing the same gear. So Morello came out, set up their stuff, sound checked. Donnie came out, made sure his stuff was okay. And then I'm like, all right, do you want us to play? And we only got like 4 or 5 songs. And so I came out and I put a guitar on and I was like, fuck, we are going to fuck this up. This is going to be awful. And I turned around and it was at the Agora Ballroom and it was sold out. I mean, it was fucking rammed with kids. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. And some girl goes, what the fuck is this, Darling Waste? And I was just like, oh shit. Like, we just like, one girl got her fucking mind blown. Like when I turned around, the Darling Waste was about it. She's like, are you playing? I'm like, yeah, hey, what's up with Darling Waste? She's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, so it made like literally my life. It's 25 years later, I'm still talking about it. So it was really, really exciting. So that was May 13th of 2005. Then that week, I believe we recorded a lot of Manifest Destiny. We
that certainly would have been the right time period in my life.
I think that's what I was doing there. I think I brought Morello in, sent them on tour, and then we recorded. I signed Audible Thread, who are a band from Cleveland. Then after that week, we moved back. Went back to New York. My friend Jesse, who I love, from We Are Americana, was this DJ. His name's Jess Marquis Trash was his big party. Just a huge DJ of the era. Just the biggest New York DJ. And it was such an honor to hang out with him and be friends with him. And he literally, when we got back, let's talk about this real quick too, Jimmy, because you want to talk about this last week and I forgot. So when I first got to New York in March, I took a job. The first job I had was working at the Empire State Building. And so I had a big button that said, "Ask me about New York." And I was so fucking proud of it because you had to take a little test. And I had studied so hard just to live in New York that I knew where everything was in New York and I could help tourists get around. So I got hired and I had a portable DVD player and was standing there. And when you were in line to go to the top of the Empire State Building, I would go, "Hi, everyone. You're going to get on this elevator over here. It's about 15 minutes to the top. We also offer sky rides where you can get in a helicopter and go see New York City. If you're interested, talk to the person at the front desk before you leave. Ask me any questions you have about New York, and I'm happy to answer." I did that job for a couple weeks. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have this thing. I'm sure you probably both know this about me. And I've thankfully pretty much gotten over it in the last, say, 10 years. If I'm going to be late to something, I just don't go. So that's how I quit that job. I think 2 days in a row, the subway was not working right, or I got off at the wrong stop, or couldn't figure out New York correctly, and just gave up on that job. So I got a job selling pita, because everyone I knew said, "You have a van, you're golden. Go find a job that needs a van. You can make a ton of money." Just to put a cap on the Empire State Building one. So I took the job, and then I was just sitting at home one day, and I got a knock on the door, and it was the FBI. And they said, "Hi, we have to ask you some questions." And I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "I'm Special Agent blah blah. It is 2005. We're all still thinking about the Twin Towers a lot, and you went and got a job at the Empire State Building, got clearance, got a photo badge, and disappeared. So we would like to know why." I'm like, "Oh, I'm just a really bad human." And they're like, "Can we have that badge?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm so sorry. I didn't turn my badge back in." So I got put on a list very briefly for forgetting to turn my badge in when I quit the Empire State Building. So I got this job for these a Hasidic Jewish bakery out of Brooklyn who made
Kosher?
Kosher. Yeah, they made kosher pita with no preservatives at all. So it was super fucking expensive, and it went bad literally as soon as you touch it. So every morning at like 4 a.m, I would go and they'd load up my van with racks and racks of pita, and I would take it before the sun rised into Manhattan, and I would start at the bottom and work my way up, and it was about a 12-hour-a-day job. And I got free gas plus probably like $120 or $200 a day. At the time it seemed awesome. Now it's like, oh, I was making like $9 an hour or something. But it was great. I just listened to music all day and dropped pita off. And here's how I got in trouble with the law from that job. Because New York, man, scary place. So the one day I decided, because it was so peaceful and empty in lower Manhattan, and I would just drive around, and then by the time I got to Midtown, it was fucking slammed, and it was like 8 a.m., and I'm like, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I should start uptown and work my way down, right? And I'll reverse the route for the day. So I drove uptown, and so I'm in Washington Heights and everything, doing it up there, and again, it's empty and wonderful, and I'm rushing, and so I get to, what's the train station called there? The big one, not Penn Station.
Union?
The one you gotta, like, if you're in the wrong lane, you accidentally go through the building. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's Grand Central.
Grand
I'm
Central.
talking about. That's it. Yeah, the beautiful one that's in all the movies. So I had to drop off to 2 places in Grand Central, and that's the one that always was impossible to get in and out of. So when I reversed it that morning, it was like 6 a.m. instead of like 2 p.m. So I go in, and the fucking places aren't open yet. So I brought them in these like plastic bags. So I'm like, I gotta go. I don't know. Hopefully no one steals them. And just sat them by the door. And they evacuated Union Station because I left an unmarked package and ran out the door fast because I was double parked. So I got a call from my boss and said, "Hey man, they just evacuated and called in a bomb squad at Grand Central Station." So yes, I had been in New York like a month. I had already made the FBI think I was going to blow up the Empire State Building, and made the bomb squad think I was going to blow up Grand Central Station. This is how I live as a human. I am a danger to all of their landmarks. I'm like, I'll move to New York and be part of the ecosystem. Like, he's going to blow something up. I know he's going to blow something up. And then here's how I left that job. They told me, if you get a parking ticket, just let us know and we'll pay for it. No big deal. Sometimes it happens. 24-year-old me somehow doesn't get how the world works and thought that they would just call the police or something and say, hey, that guy was our guy, no more parking tickets. So I just parked wherever the fuck I wanted to park for 2 straight weeks. I got a parking ticket at like almost every single time I stopped my van. I would just throw my flashers on, block traffic, run in. I'm like, it's fine. They said it was fine. So after 2 weeks of working there, I'm like, here is the $9,000 worth of parking tickets I got. And they're like, there's no fucking way we're paying those. And I'm like, you said you would. They're like, we meant like if you got one on accident, like once. I think it was like literally like 12 or 14 parking tickets in 2 weeks, each one for over $100. And they're like, Lance, there's no way we're paying $1,400 worth of parking tickets to deliver pedo. You're out of your fucking mind. So I
and out of your fucking job at that point.
Yeah, and then I had to pay those fucking tickets too. I didn't pay them for years and years, but eventually I think I did something. I paid somehow. And then I will always remember this. The girl who was the daughter of the owner of the pita place hung out with me one day, and she was really cute. She was like 25 maybe or something. And, I was like, hey, my best friend is newly separated and is also Jewish. And I think that you two would really hit it off. And she said, is your best friend a Hasid? And I said, no, but they're New York and Jewish. And she said, then they are the same as you. They are cattle to us. And I was like, huh. And she's like,
wow.
And she's like, and I wouldn't lay with a cattle, so I wouldn't lay with someone who's not a Hasid. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I won't recommend you to them then. Wow. Back to Jesse real quick. So Jess Marquis and me, he said, you got to DJ. You just got to start DJing. And I loved 80s music. He's like, you got to have an 80s night. Let's do it. So much like the movie Party Monster, Jess took me door to door in the East Village and walked in, and he is literally, at this time, I think he is the biggest, is either him or Michael T., who was also our friend, the biggest DJ in New York City. Sadly, Jess passed away a couple years ago. And like Rolling Stone and all these magazines gave him an obituary. His funeral was held at Webster Hall. He was a pillar of this community. Yeah, I love Jess. I don't want to get too hung up on it. I love Jess. So he took me door to door in the village and was like, this is my superstar friend Lance from Cleveland. He is going to do an 80s night here. And they're like, no. And he, like, literally all day, I had copies of my mixtape, and he had made little flyers for me and was just trying to trade in on his name. We couldn't find anything in the East Village. We went to the Lower East Side, couldn't find anything. Went to the West Village, couldn't find anything. He beat the pavement all day for me. And then we finally found a brand new bar called Sly Bar, which is on Spring Street in the SoHo is what they call it over there. I also say Lower West Side. That's not a thing. SoHo. Right across from Don Hills. And on Monday nights at Don Hills at the time, the guy from... Now, Google says this is not true. I don't give a fuck. I was there. Johnny Marr from the Smiths, like the guitarist, was doing a Monday night 80s and 90s party at Don Hill every Monday night. I have Googled the shit out of this, and AI is like, no, you're mistaken. He played in the Smiths. I'm like, no, but he had a party for like 2 years. Like, no, he never had a party at Don Hills. So apparently it was just like word of mouth and flyers. I don't know. I guess it was never on the internet. But that party started at like midnight and went to 4 a.m. on a Monday, which is insane to me. So I started a thing called Blue Monday across the street, and it was 8 p.m. to midnight. So everyone could pregame at my party and then go across the street to his party. And the rest of the time I was in New York, I did that. I did Blue Mondays. The bar owner wanted to call it Manic Mondays, And I was like, no, Cyndi Lauper is too mainstream. Call it Blue Mondays. And I just remember having a very intense argument over which 80s Monday pop song we were going to name our party after, and feeling very strongly about Blue Monday over Manic Mondays. And I'm like, do you want people in here drinking martinis? Because that's how you get them if you call it Manic Mondays. So Bray became a shot girl there, and they had a thing where if we got our own alcohol and made our own Jell-O shots at home and brought them in, we could split the money with the bar. So Bray would just make like 4 trays of Jell-O shots, and we'd smuggle them onto a train and get them, walk them. And I was DJing with CDs, so I had like a case of CDs, and she had a case of Jell-O shots, schlepping across the west side. And then she would put on, like a little like leather dress and go-go boots, and sell them for like $5 a shot, and people would just get rowdy on a Monday, and so we made, I think I was getting paid like maybe like $150 a Monday, and she would do that, and then I started DJing Thursdays as well, and that's how we paid our rent for a couple months there. So I can honestly say for a couple months of my life I paid my rent in New York by being a DJ, and I can just, the rest of my life is just icing on the cake after that. So starting June 6th, I started DJing at Sly Bar and hanging out at Don Hill's every night. The guitarists, I auditioned this guy named Evan Neal, who was in a band called something as Everything. So everyone called him Evan Everything. And so I liked Evan, but he wasn't like great at guitar, but he was pretty goddamn good at guitar. And I'm like, I really need a lead guitarist, but he's definitely rhythm, but whatever. And so I hired him, and then as soon as I started Sly Bar, Mark from a band called The Kids Are Right, I think is the name of that band, and everyone called him Mark Wright. He was the bar manager, and he's like, oh shit, I wish I would have known, I would have joined your band. And so we auditioned him, and he could play lead guitar. So I introduced Mark and Evan and said, do you both want to play guitar on this tour? And they hit it off. They are still friends today, and they have been in like 7 bands together or something. And so they started, so we were on Spring Street. They started Spring Street Records, which was ran out of Sly Bar. And it was kind of like a subsidiary for like a very brief moment of 1034, and I helped them kind of launch that. So that's Mark and Evan, who are, and that's why I brought this up, because they are now the 2 new guitarists for Darling Waste starting in the summer of 05. So the band at this point, when we go on tour, is going to be Mark, Evan, Bunny on bass, Al, and me. We're a 5-piece.
All 4 except for Bunny made the album artwork.
I see that, and I don't know why we didn't put Bunny in, because he played the... Oh, you know why? He told us when he was playing the album release show, I do have this written down, that he told us beforehand that it was his last tour. So maybe I just didn't put it in. I don't know why I didn't put him in, though. Because we were friends. It wasn't like I was mad. He told us way in advance. He's like, yeah, if you're moving to New York, I'm happy to do your CD release tour. But he was going to college, and he had done 1 semester or 1 year of college, and was like, I don't think I can keep taking off, because he was like skipping college to like go play shows and stuff. And he was going to in Athens in like southern Ohio. So it's like, I don't know if I can drive to New York and play this show with you guys. I'm kind of in college. So yeah, this was coming up as his last tour. And he had told us that before. Going through the summer, we didn't play any shows. We played the 1 show in Cleveland, and then it was all about signing bands and DJing. I DJ every Monday through that summer. We announced the Spring Street sessions. So on Thursdays, we started doing acoustic open mic nights at Sly Bar. So I was there almost every night, between like DJing a couple nights a week and then the open mic nights there. And then we were recording. So that was our hustle, is like, you could come play, but Lance will be there with his recording setup. And if you want a CD or a DVD of your live performance, it's $20. And I was like making money that way off of it, and plus the Jell-O shot thing. Kids Against Combs album released June 28th. Morello was on their national tour, the Irish band. Then 3 days later, we signed Stars in December. So what a week, man. Like, we released Kids Against Combs. We have a band on a national tour. And Stars in December signs all within 4 days. And then on July 4th, I love this memory. It was Morello Came Home. So us, Stars in December, Kids Against Combs, Jess and his band, We Are Americana, all walked down to the Port Authority for fireworks on the 4th of July. And it was like, very quickly, in under 6 months, we went from like the Cleveland crew of like 30 bands that were all to like a New York crew of, and it was a lot of fun. So this is crazy. Here's 3 days, and then I'll be done. July 15th, Kids Against Combs is mentioned on Howard Stern. I don't know if you know about this too. They were supposed to be on Howard Stern, and they were on the phone. And then they got caught up on like, let's fart on each other or whatever the fuck they were doing, and bumped Kids Against Combs and just mentioned them. I guess DeGal sat on the phone for like 5 hours or something that day just to get bumped because Howard Stern was talking about boners or whatever the fuck they were talking about that day. Very Howard Stern story. And then, so that's the 15th. They get mentioned on Howard Stern. On the 16th, we have Kids Against Combs CD release party, where we got chased by Fox News goons. The 17th, Stars in December CD release party at the Knitting Factory. So we had 2 back-to-back nights, which I'm guessing were Friday and Saturday, of CD release parties in New York. Then, no, it was Saturday, Sunday. Because the next night, July 18th, was a Monday. Me and Bray got in a huge fucking fight, and I proposed during our fight. And then the next day, I got married, July 19th. So it was Howard Stern, Kids Against Combs fight with fucking Fox News, CD release party at the Knitting Factory, 80s DJing, wedding. That was my week. I'm like, this is fine. And then in 4 days, we go on tour. So I'm going to stop it there. We'll talk about the tour next week. All right, let's hop into this song. So if you haven't yet, go listen to the song. You don't have to listen to the full 8 minutes. We'll do that. You can just listen to the first half of it. This is the final track on Manifest Destiny Rebellion. It is a lullaby. All right, I'm just gonna. Anybody? Do you guys remember this song? Do you know this song before we start? Do you remember? If I said "Blind and Screaming," you would be like, "Yep, I know what it is."
100%.
Yep.
All right, cool. So let's hop in.
I will watch over you. You're breathing deeper. Sleep comes creeping in the room. Drift off, baby. I'll sit and wait for you to come back and say to me, I'll always stay with you. So sleep now, sweetheart, I will watch over you.
Really well recorded, Jamie.
Thanks.
I could not get that acoustic sound with a gun to my head right now. Like,
well, I was going to say, as soon as it started playing, I was like, oh, yeah, that's definitely my acoustic guitar.
Oh, fuck, that's probably why. It's such a good sound. It's
mine
not
has
mine.
such a particular sound to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that you playing, you think?
I'm almost 100% sure, because I think...
Me too. It doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, you're only credited with acoustic on I Will Be Fine and This Apology.
Because this definitely sounds like you playing your guitar in your house.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, I know what mics I would have used. I know exactly where they would have been positioned. I still own both the guitar and the mics.
Yep, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a Jimmy playing a guitar.
Yep.
All right. Instead of waiting till the
I do
end.
agree, and thank you. I think the recording does sound really nice. It started
really
playing, your
fucking
voice
nice.
comes in. I was like, yeah, this sounds good.
Can you guys guess? There's 2 songs that made me say, I would like to write this song and put it at the end of the album. Can either one of you guess which songs that inspired me to write this song?
I'm hearing Goo Goo Dolls.
So, Counting Crows, of course, have a song called Walkaways at the end of their second album, which is a very short song. It's almost like it gets cut in half, and there's like, yeah, we didn't have a full song, so
and I love it when they did it on that tour or the tour after it.
They do it a lot. They just close the show and go, all right, good night, and you're like, oh shit, that was the whole song. It's like a minute and a half little song. It's just 2 verses and acoustic guitar, and they always just play it last, and then right when you're trying to get into it, it just ends. He's like, thanks for coming, and then the show's over. Really nice.
Oh, good.
So I wanted that moment for our. This was definitely we're gonna play this live, and this is gonna be our last song moment. And then lyrically, I grew up loving Billy Joel's That Good Night, My Angel, Now It's Time to Sleep and Save These Questions for Another Day. Do you guys know that song? I don't know. It's a Billy Joel lullaby that he wrote that I loved when I was a little kid. So I really wanted to write a lullaby, which is also why I wrote Changing the Seasons, because I liked Billy Joel and wanted to write a Billy Joel type piano ballad.
Yeah, because that's what Changing of the Seasons sounds like.
But that's what I was sitting down and trying to do, because he was talking about how he was incorporating classical music into his stuff and tried to think in like Baroque terms and shit over rock and roll. So like, can I write this? And then I couldn't, but I came up with Changing the Seasons. But yeah, so that's the 2 touchstones for this. Is let's get an ending song, and let's make it as peaceful and pretty as we can, so people will leave our show going, oh, that was nice. Just like a nice cathartic kind of thing at the end of the show. And then the second half is obviously me and Jamie loving Death Cab for Cutie.
Jimmy World.
Jimmy World. Jimmy, no, you're right. Yeah, Jimmy World. You're right. Yeah. Jimmy World. Yeah, it's our love letter to Jimmy Eat World, because Jimmy Eat World on Clarity and I think Bleed American had an 8-minute closer,
definitely,
which is a bunch of music.
Yeah, one of my anime music videos I did is set to a Jimmy Eat World song off of Bleed American, and I love it that the only comment on YouTube on that video I did was, well, the anime music video is great, but it would have been better without this song. I'm like, fuck you, this is one of Jimmy Eat World's best songs.
That's
Shut
really
up,
funny.
This is very much that song.
Yeah. All right, let's jump in. Second verse is almost the same. I thought when I first wrote it, I just repeated the whole thing twice, because I thought that may be kind of fun to do the song twice and be done. And then I just slightly changed a couple of the words in it. Second verse.
Sleep now, sweetheart. I will watch over you. You're breathing deeper. The sleep comes creeping in the room. When I get needy, I know you'll be there for me. When I'm blind and screaming, I know you'll take care of me. So sleep now, sweetheart. I will watch over you. Sleep now, sweetheart. I will watch over you. So sleep now, sweetheart. I will watch over you. Sleep now, sweetheart. I will watch over you.
Boy, can you tell that's a drop-in edit on the When I'm Blind. It's like, that's a whole different voice. That is, I'm further away from the microphone. I think it's later in the day. Like, that was definitely a pickup line. It's oh, wow, a wholly different length there.
There's also a missing breath at the very end between just before you repeat the last phrase.
Yes.
It bothers me.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, why did we even
out.
overdub it? Just let me do it live and sing it 3 times. Like, I don't know why we had to pick.
Right. Even if you had messed up the whole thing, just using the breath from the connection with the punches would have been
I didn't like that punch either. So a little punchy. And then I think, I'm trying to think what band, 'cause I do that a lot. I do that a lot where I would I'm going to repeat the last line a couple times without music. I do it on Completely Buried as well. I think that's Our Lady Peace that has a song where he repeats a couple more times after he should. Acoustic a cappella. I have to find it, but I think there's a song.
I like it. I like it.
He might have done it on like Superman's Dead. I think he goes, "And the world's a subway, subway, hey," and then the song stops. And he's like, "And the world's a subway." And I think he does that a lot, where he's just like, "I'm going to sing the last line a couple more times," and I've always loved
is that on Happiness in the Fish?
No, that's on their big one. Clumsy. Yeah. And this is a really fun song to close with for that reason, right? Like the band stops and I sing it a couple more times and people sing along a little bit and I go, "All right, guys, thanks so much, bye." And it gives that same thing Counting Crows do, right? Oh, that was nice, bye.
I think you accomplished your purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No. This is a big song for us. We didn't play it constantly, but we played it a lot, and people liked it. And there's been way more than once where we don't play it, and some kid goes, "Oh my God, you didn't play my favorite song." I'm like, "What's your favorite song?" Blind and Screaming. I played the song in parking lots a lot. A lot. When someone after the show goes, "Oh my God, you didn't play Blind and Screaming," I'm like, "Hold on," and I'll go grab a guitar. I'm like, "Everyone, come here!" And more than once we have had. After the show, Lance will play 1 or 2 songs in the parking lot. This is definitely one of those parking lot songs. All right. So, I guess, do you want to just jam this 7 minutes or do we want to skip it? Do you guys want to do it? Do you want to vibe with the next 6 minutes? All right. We did record this in my mom's basement.
Okay.
Because I remember this part of the recording, not the first half.
Now that you mention it, I do remember.
We spent all fucking day.
Computer,
yeah,
and it was outside
of that room.
It was in the bigger and it was facing the back wall.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, I don't know why, but as soon as I started this, I remember us just this took us 8 hours to make this next part of the song, and we kept being like, "When is it too much? I don't know. Let's just keep going." And I remember we had a really long discussion on what should be the last thing you hear, and we chose that kind of jing 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 guitar you were playing to be the last song. I remember we went back and forth on how do we fade it out and what should be the last things looping and stuff. So let's listen to Lance and Jamie loop sounds for 6 minutes. Oh, and a fade in. If I had my way, this is what Darling Waste just sounds like at all times. Hold on. What? Sorry, I was really loud.
I'm sorry. Would that technically be shoegaze?
I guess so. Yeah, probably. Yeah. drums.
All right. There's still a minute, but it's probably silent space, right, for the hidden track. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. That was nice. That was a nice vibe there for a minute. Did anybody get bored or annoyed or anything?
Bill, I have two questions though.
Yeah.
Do I hear tapping on glasses?
There might have been some handbells.
So yeah, so there was handbells. There was a little bit of a what are those, like, you know, the chime set, the little kids like chime set, like
Oh, xylophone.
okay, yeah.
I like baby marimba. I don't know.
Xylophone, but yeah.
Yeah. And then another thing that you heard that I think what you were picking up on, Justin, Jamie and I like to play the parts of the strings of guitars between like the top nut and the tuners. That's what you were hearing, was like the plink, 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 plink. One of us, who knows which, we both like to, I think we both like to do that. I do. Do you do that a lot, Jamie, when you're making noise? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh my God. Yes,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell which one of us it was, but there was a little bit of that going on. That's probably what you're picking up on, because it was atonal, and it was just like blink,
Yeah.
blink, blink, blink. Yeah, so it kind of sounded like tapping on glasses or something. That's my guess, is that's what that was.
And then my other question was, for the main guitar part, was that looped or was that played straight through?
If I know Jamie, it was played straight through.
It was probably played straight through with some punches if I messed up, but I probably wouldn't have looped if I was going for something really organic with it.
Yeah. I knew because Jamie played it, because I don't know how to. I a lot of times I can listen to a guitar part and know if it's me because I know how to play it, and then I was listening, I'm like, I don't know what those chords are, so that wasn't me.
Well, I love that you let me get away with some like putting some triplet stuff over, some 2 against 3 stuff. Like you let me do some fun rhythmic stuff.
Yeah, that was a lot of that was just you. I think that was just Jamie playing for 8 hours, to get that. And those drums are
it
definitely
was probably
you.
one of those things where I just was up at 6 a.m. and you weren't going to get up till noon, and so I'm just like laying shit down, and then we just weeded through it later.
Yeah, no, that was really, really cool.
When I was asking about the looping, I was just thinking that when you and I were talking, like pre anything, like plans for Skeleton Key, you were like, "We're gonna do this like The Cure. We're gonna record it once and loop it for 7 minutes." That's always stuck with me.
Yeah, that album is very much that. Yeah, I looped any fucking thing I could on that record. I'm surprised I just didn't put the song back again later on the album. Like, we're just looping a whole song. Track 2 was also track 9. Here it is again. Fuck you.
See if anybody notices.
Yeah.
In the business, we call this a reprise.
Okay, so Jamie, we covered when and where the song was recorded. We covered who played on it. We covered the instrumentation. At 7.5 minutes, is the song too long for Jamie?
So I'll combine that with the "what's the one thing I would change" question.
Sure.
Which is, there's a little bit more, maybe I could have done a little bit more variation, a little more in and out in the ending stretch. It's a little trancy, which is good, but I would have liked a little bit more variation in it. So it's either needed to be shorter, which I would say no, or it needed to just be slightly more dynamic.
I'm going to take everything you said, but I'm going to change the question on to what would you change about your sex routine? And then you're like, it could be a little shorter,
about the same
a little more of the in and out, a little less routine. Okay. And then give up, re-record, remix, remaster, good as is, actually happy.
I would say good as is, very happy with the first part overall. I mean, yeah, there's those 2 little punches, but
yeah, it's whatever, right?
It is what it is. It's a testament of its time. I don't think you re-record for that sort of thing.
No. One of the big places we play was in the Lost Creek, Clarkson area of West Virginia, Bridgeville, Clarkson, Lost Creek. We were playing there 4 to 6 times a year. We had a bunch of high school kids that loved us. There was the first place, I think, really that attached to Darling Waste, outside of Cleveland, was that northern West Virginia music scene. And 2 brothers died in a car wreck with, I believe, their mother on, like, right before Christmas. They were Christmas shopping and their car slid off a road, and they got buried in Darling Waste, their favorite Darling Waste shirts, and they played this song at the funeral, and because it was like their favorite song. So for a couple of years there, this was always a very emotional thing. We always would play that last with the community that had lost these kids. So that was very special to be a part of that, and very very, very honored, and we take it very seriously. On the flip side of that, I used to sing the entirety of Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It" in this song. Have you ever seen that, Justin? Do you remember that?
Not only do I remember it, we were at, I think it might have been, it was Pennsylvania, that college town, that coffee shop that we would play.
Oh, yeah. Avenue Coffee.
I was recording on an iPad, and you were trying to get everyone to sing the chorus, and I was singing along, and then everyone else stopped, and then I was the only one singing the chorus, but I didn't realize, and I just ruined this video.
I'm sure you did.
Singing the chorus of this bit. And yeah,
we had to stop doing it because we got so old that no one knew Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It" anymore.
Ooh.
At the beginning of our career, all the kids knew it. And it was still an older song, but it was like 10 years old at that point.
Yeah.
And then, fast forward another 10, 15 years, none of the kids standing there knew what song we were playing. And I'm like, oh, shit, we got to update this. Okay. Lance's lyric lesson, the only thing I got on this is I thought it'd be really fun to try to title a love ballad "Blind and Screaming." Can we write a ballad and make it really, really, a lullaby, but then and make it codependent and needy and weird, and then also call it "Blind and Screaming"? when we played this live, when we were opening for other bands, we used to have a wall of death to this song. This was every time I played this song, I'd be like, all right, I don't know if you've seen a Darling Way show before, but we get fucking crazy. We get brutal. So I need everyone here to push back as far as you can. Everyone's like, oh shit, wall of death. I'm like, get back, get back. When this fucking song comes in, and I was like, who here has seen Braveheart? Like, if you've seen Braveheart, you know what you got to do. I want you guys to kill these motherfuckers. I want these fuckers over here to kill these motherfuckers. When this song comes in, we're going to get fucking crazy. This song is called Blind and Screamers. Like, oh shit, here we go. I'm like, ching, ching. And everyone like, I've had like slow motion ones, and I've had ones where people just like literally try to kill each other to this song. Justin, have you ever seen me do the?
Yes, not with this song.
Oh,
with
okay.
Actually, harder songs that we did, but I've always loved that.
Actually, like literal trying. Yeah, I love doing a Wall of Death at a Darling Way show because it's the least expected thing you could possibly think of at a Darling Way show. And who doesn't love a good Wall of Death? Like, they're fun.
Listen, at Soundhole, we were the only band allowed
to have moshing. Yeah, they had a strict no moshing because all the bands were metal and they'd break shit, except for at Darling Waste concerts. And the other bands would complain, like, why? Like, because it's funny when Darling Waste allows moshing at their shows.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, all right. Any recs? Do you guys have any recs this week? I never think.
Actually, I do.
Yes. All right.
You have put up some recent great videos on the Darling Waste YouTube channel. I have really been enjoying those. And
good,
because I that the one that you played earlier in the van, waving at everybody, I think I'm going to go back on YouTube and leave a comment. I'm really glad that you got to capture the peak of society. It's never gotten better than that. Just watching that, I'm like, oh, that's when civilization peaked. Okay, it was
looking at it, I'm like, fuck. And I was aware. I will say, I a lot of times I was aggravated about a show or aggravated about the tour or what the fuck ever I was aggravated about because that's just my personality. But I did know when we were in it that it was awesome. It never was lost on me, those kind of moments. That's probably why I was filming, because I'm like, this is fucking dope, you know. I loved being in the van with my friends driving around the country listening to music, and I liked that a lot. Just like we're talking about the Union tour, I like that part of it better than going and playing the shows a lot of the times. I think Darling Waste lasted as long as it did because I wanted to travel around with my friends and get up to shenanigans, you know, and that was like the best way to make that happen.
I just remember, like, I would be in the passenger seat, you'd be driving, and we would just have these talks all night as we went to the next town, everyone else asleep in the van. It was just the best.
No, I do remember those too, and I definitely cherish that. I loved, when everyone else is asleep and me and you were just talking and having long conversations about one of them was what I would do as president, and I thought they were all really good ideas, and then Trump did all of them, and I'm like, oh fuck, they were horrible ideas. Shit, I had horrible ideas. I'm like, first off, we're gonna be isolationist. We're gonna put up a wall between us and Mexico, and we're gonna put like a 30 yard no-go zone with explosives, and then we're like,
At the time, I didn't really understand why you wanted to put kids in cages, but like looking back, it really was a bad idea.
So funny, since we're on Manifest Destiny, right? Uh-huh. It was during the recording of this that you were reading The Art of the Deal in the bathroom at your parents' house.
I was a huge Trump fan at that point of my life because I didn't know he was a grifter. And all of those books were about how he could be bankrupt and still go get giant loans. And I really identify with that, with building my business and, this, insane attention to detail. And all of it was bullshit. He didn't write the book. None of it's true, but the book paints a very good picture of a guy who understands how to build a business with no funding and just that fake it till you make it attitude. And I really, those were values that I had trying to build our label. Yeah, no, I was a huge Trump person, when he put out those books, which is hilarious. Yeah, not as big as I am now, but I was pretty big then.
Yeah, you just tour with nothing but trans people in your band just for the irony of it.
I don't pay any of you. You're my trans slaves.
Okay, perfect. That explains it all.
Yeah. It's because I devalue.
Great.
I'm like, I don't want straight white men having to go out and play these shows. I'm only subjugating minorities to the Darling Waste experience.
Jobs.
So yeah, that's Blood and Screaming.
I'm sorry, everyone.
So we'll be back next week. We're gonna wrap up this album. Fuck, crazy. All right, cool. Love you guys. I will talk to you next week. Thank you for doing this. Sorry, it was a 3-hour
Love y'all.
podcast.
Good seeing ya.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.